What if I told you that the secret to making a woman miss you has almost nothing to do with what you do when you're apart, and everything to do with what you do when you're together? Let's cut right to it. You're not here for cheap tricks or a list of manipulative games. If you've been told the secret is to play hard to get, to use the no contact rule as a silent punishment, or to strategically make her jealous, you've been seriously misled. Because let's be clear, anxiety is not attraction. Neediness is not desire. Those tactics are a shallow attempt to manipulate a reaction from the outside in. They might create a temporary spike of frustration, but they don't create genuine, soul-deep longing. They're the emotional equivalent of junk food, a quick, unsatisfying hit that leaves her feeling empty and eventually repulsed. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to work from the inside out. This isn't about playing games with her mind. It's about becoming a significant, unforgettable part of it. This is about psychology, neuroscience, and the art of a deep emotional connection. The longing you want doesn't come from your absence. It's revealed by your absence. The goal is to build something so real and so powerful with her that your absence creates a vacuum, a void that only you can fill. Think about it. People don't just miss other people. They miss how those people made them feel. They miss the laughter, the feeling of being understood, the thrill of a shared secret. We're going to install the software of you into her emotional operating system, so when you're not around, the program just runs on its own. We'll break down how to plant what I call emotional hooks or mental souvenirs, subtle, powerful triggers that bring you to the front of her mind. This is about becoming the man whose memory is a source of joy, whose absence is a genuine ache, and whose return is a profound relief. Forget everything you think you know. The real work starts now. Let's dive in. Section 1. Why common tactics fail. Before we build anything new, we have to clear the rubble of bad advice. The internet is flooded with so-called tricks to make a woman miss you, and almost all of them are based on a total misunderstanding of human psychology. They operate on the flawed idea that affection is a game where for you to win, she has to lose. They want you to create negative feelings, anxiety, jealousy, insecurity, hoping she'll scramble to make herself feel better by chasing you. Let's be brutally honest about what these tactics actually do. Take the infamous no contact rule. Now, in certain specific situations, like healing after a genuine breakup, creating space can be healthy and necessary for both people. Some sources even suggest it can rekindle interest out of psychological reactants. But that's not how it's usually sold. It's often wielded as a manipulative tool in the early stages of dating to make her panic. And what does that really do? When you just cut off communication out of the blue, you're not creating longing, you're creating confusion and resentment. Instead of thinking, wow, I miss his wonderful presence, she's way more likely to think, what is wrong with this guy? Why is he playing these immature games? You become associated with emotional whiplash, not positive feelings. Then there's the whole strategy of making her jealous. Posting a photo with another woman, casually name-dropping a date you went on. These are the tools of an amateur. It doesn't scream high value. It screams, I need validation. A confident man doesn't need to triangulate people to feel important. A woman with any substance sees right through it. She doesn't see a man in high demand. She sees an insecure guy who's willing to play with her emotions to soothe his own ego. This doesn't create real desire. It might trigger a competitive, anxious reflex in some, but that fire burns out fast, leaving behind nothing but the ashes of distrust. You've just shown her you're not a safe emotional harbor. You're a source of stress. These strategies, the calculated text delays, the fake indifference, the jealousy traps, all fail for one simple reason. They're not authentic. They're a performance. And human beings, especially emotionally intelligent women, have incredible performance detectors. When your actions feel calculated, she can sense it. Instead of becoming a man she misses, you become a puzzle she has to solve. Or worse, a nuisance she has to manage. Real, lasting longing isn't born from negative games. It's born from the absence of overwhelmingly positive emotions. It's an organic process. You don't have to trick her into missing you if you're a man who is genuinely worth missing. The rest of this guide is about showing you exactly how to become that man. Section 2. Planting emotional hooks. This brings us to the most critical concept of this whole philosophy. Planting emotional hooks. If you really get this, making her miss you becomes an automatic, effortless side effect of how you interact with her. First, a crucial reframe. Women don't miss you. Not exactly. They miss the state you put them in. They miss laughing so hard their stomach hurts. They miss feeling so intellectually stimulated that time just disappears. They miss the feeling of being so completely understood that they feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Your physical presence is just the key that unlocks these emotional states. When you're gone, it's the craving for those feelings that her brain translates as missing you. This is a critical distinction. Your mission isn't just to make her think about your face. It's to make her long for the emotions that only you provide. These are emotional hooks. They are unique, personal anchors that link a powerful, positive emotion directly to you. Think of them as mental souvenirs she takes with her. These hooks tap right into our brain chemistry. Positive, new experiences trigger a release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of pleasure and reward. When you consistently become the source of that dopamine, and then you're not there, her brain literally starts to crave the source of that reward. It's not a game, it's neuroscience. So, how do you plant them? First, there's the hook of shared humor. This is way more than just telling a joke. It's about creating a private world of humor that belongs only to you two. It's the inside joke from that funny thing that happened on your first date. It's the silly nickname you have for her that no one else uses. It's referencing a hilarious observation you both made weeks ago. When you create this private language, you're building an exclusive club. Later, when something reminds her of that inside joke, you will instantly pop into her head, followed by the pleasant ghost of a laugh. That's a powerful anchor. Second, the hook of deep understanding. This is one of the most powerful hooks there is. Most people walk around feeling fundamentally misunderstood. They have dreams and fears they rarely share because they assume nobody will get it. Your job is to be the one person who does. This means you have to do more than just listen. You have to practice active, empathetic listening. When she's talking about a problem at work, don't just jump to a solution. First, validate the feeling. Say, "That sounds incredibly frustrating. It feels like you're putting in all the effort and not being seen." When she shares a niche passion, don't just nod. Ask smart, curious questions. Watch a documentary about it later and text her an interesting fact you learned. When you make her feel truly seen, you become an emotional oasis. That feeling is addictive. When you're not around and she feels misunderstood by the world again, her mind will immediately crave the comfort she felt with you. Third, the hook of the unique compliment. Any guy can tell a woman she's beautiful. She's heard it 1,000 times. An emotional hook is a compliment so specific and observant that it could only be about her. It's not about her appearance. It's about her essence. Instead of, "You have pretty eyes," try, "I love the way your eyes light up when you talk about your art." It's like a switch flips, and I can see your whole soul. Instead of, "You're smart," try, "The way you connect different ideas is fascinating. My brain doesn't work that way, and I'm honestly a little in awe of it." See the difference? One is a label. The other proves you're actually paying attention. This kind of compliment lands deep. It's a mental souvenir she'll replay in her mind. And every time she does, that good feeling is linked directly to you. Section 3. Using the Zeigarnik effect. Back in the 1920s, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik was sitting in a cafe when she noticed something fascinating. The waiters could remember every single detail of unpaid orders, the drinks, the appetizers, everything. But the second the bill was paid and the transaction was complete, they almost instantly forgot the entire order. This led to a powerful discovery: the Zeigarnik effect. It states that people remember incomplete or interrupted tasks far better than completed ones. Our brains hate open loops. An unfinished task or an unresolved story creates a kind of mental tension. Our brain keeps it active, pushing it into our thoughts, nagging us to find a resolution. It's the same reason cliffhangers on TV shows drive us crazy and make sure we tune in next week. So how do we use this? We artfully leave certain interactions incomplete. We create open loops that our brain will feel a pull to close, and the only way to do that is to reconnect with you. For example, you can end positive interactions at their peak. We all have a tendency to let a great date or conversation drag on until it just fizzles out. That's a mistake. When you're on a date and the energy is at its absolute highest, you're both laughing, the vibe is electric, that's the moment to end it. Not abruptly, but smoothly. You say, "This has been incredible. I have to be up early, but I cannot wait to do this again." What does this do? Instead of the memory being a slow fade into an awkward goodbye, the final emotional stamp is the peak excitement. You've left the emotional loop tantalizingly open. She'll be replaying that high point, wanting more. Another powerful technique is storytelling with open loops. In conversation, start telling a fascinating or funny story. But just as you get to the best part, find a natural way to interrupt yourself. Say something like, "Oh, that actually reminds me of something I need to ask you. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll tell you the rest of that story next time we talk. It's a wild one." You've just planted a Zygarnik hook. You've opened a narrative loop in her mind. Her brain will flag this as unfinished business, creating a genuine motivation to talk to you again just to get the satisfying closure. The key to using this effectively and ethically is that you must eventually close the loops. You have to follow through. You tell her the end of the story, you take her to the mystery spot. This isn't about deception, it's about pacing. It's about being a masterful storyteller of your shared experience, always leaving her excited for the next chapter. Section 4. Creating sensory anchors. Of all our senses, our sense of smell is the most primal. It has a direct superhighway to the parts of the brain that handle emotion and memory. This is why a random scent can instantly transport you back to your childhood with a vividness nothing else can match. This deep link between scent, memory, and emotion is a powerful tool most men completely ignore. The goal is to create a sensory anchor, a unique scent, sound, or even touch that becomes inextricably linked with you and the positive feelings you create. When she encounters this anchor without you, it will trigger an involuntary cascade of memories and feelings. It's the ultimate mental souvenir. The most obvious anchor is a signature scent. This doesn't mean bathing in the most popular cologne at the mall. The key is subtlety and uniqueness. Find a fragrance that's distinctive, something she won't smell on every other guy. Apply it sparingly, so it's only noticeable when she's close to you, when she leans in, when you hug her. Over time, her brain forges a powerful link. This specific scent equals the feeling of being with you. Now, imagine she walks past someone on the street wearing a similar fragrance. In that instant, without her conscious control, you will flood her mind. It is a visceral, subconscious way of being missed, but it's not just about smell. Think about auditory anchors. Is there a specific song or artist you introduce her to that becomes your song? Not in a cheesy way, but a song that was the soundtrack to an amazing memory. Music encodes emotion into memory like nothing else. When she hears that song on the radio, it'll act as an immediate trigger, bringing back the entire emotional tapestry of that moment. And let's not forget haptic anchors, the memory of touch. This is about creating a unique and consistent form of physical contact. It could be the specific way you place your hand on the small of her back to guide her through a door, or the way you gently touch her arm to emphasize a point. These small, repeated acts of respectful touch build comfort and release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. In your absence, she won't just miss you, she'll miss the specific feeling of your touch and the safety and connection it provided. By consciously creating these sensory anchors, you're embedding yourself into her world on a subconscious level. You're ensuring that even when you're miles away, the world itself can conspire to remind her of you. Section 5. The gravity of a great life, becoming the man worth missing. This might be the most important section of all, because without it, everything else is just an empty technique. All the emotional hooks and psychological principles in the world will fail if they aren't built on a foundation of a genuinely great life. The ultimate secret is to build a life that you yourself are in love with. You have to become a man who is so engaged, passionate, and purposeful that your life generates its own gravitational pull. A woman doesn't just miss a person, she misses being in that person's orbit. If your life is a whirlwind of growth, adventure, and purpose, being with you is an exciting experience. When you're gone, she doesn't just miss your company, she misses being part of that vibrant reality. The contrast between your world and her everyday routine becomes impossible to ignore. That contrast is the source of authentic longing. This requires a fundamental shift in your thinking. Stop asking, "How can I make her miss me?" and start asking, "How can I build a life so amazing that anyone would miss being a part of it?" This isn't about faking it for Instagram. This is about real work. First, find your mission. A man with a purpose is inherently attractive. It doesn't matter if that mission is building a business, mastering a guitar, getting into the best shape of your life, or volunteering for a cause you believe in. Purpose gives you direction. It communicates that you're the creator of your own life, not just a passenger waiting for someone else to make you happy. A woman wants to join a man on his adventure. She doesn't want to be the adventure. Second, always be growing. Actively work on becoming a better version of yourself every single day. Read books that challenge you. Learn new skills. Face your fears. When you're committed to your own growth, you are never boring because you're constantly evolving. The man she has coffee with this week is even more interesting than the man she met last month. This signals that you're a partner who will grow with her, not someone who will stagnate. Third, have your own life. Your relationship with her should be an important part of your life, but not your entire life. Have loyal friends, maintain family ties, and pursue hobbies that you do without her. This isn't about making her jealous. It's about showing that you have a rich, full life that she's being invited to join. It removes any hint of neediness. She feels like a wonderful addition to your already great life, not the sole source of your happiness. That lack of pressure is incredibly attractive. When you're truly living a life of purpose and passion, you don't have to try to seem interesting. You just are. You don't need to manufacture scarcity because your time is genuinely valuable. This is the ultimate reframe. Stop focusing on her and start focusing on you. Build a kingdom, and a queen will want to be part of it. Section 6. The Architect of Memories. Crafting Unforgettable Experiences. Most men plan dates. Exceptional men craft experiences. A date is a logistical event. Dinner at 7. Movie at 9. An experience is an emotional journey designed to create a vivid, lasting memory. To make her miss you, you need to become the architect of memories so unique that they stand out against the boring backdrop of her everyday life. The psychological principle here is the peak end rule. Researched by Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, this rule says that we remember experiences based on two things: how we felt at the most intense moment, the peak, and at the very end. This is crucial. It means you don't need a flawless 10-hour date. You need to focus on creating 1 or 2 peak moments of high emotion and making sure the date ends on a high note. So how do you become an architect? First, inject surprise and novelty. Our brains love new things. New experiences create stronger memories. Instead of the default dinner and a movie, think differently. Take her to an archery range. Go to a cooking class where you have to work together. Find a quirky hidden jazz club. The goal is to create a first for you both. It's not about spending money, it's about creativity. A well-planned picnic in a beautiful, secluded spot can be far more memorable than a $300 dinner. Second, focus on generating real emotion. A great experience should involve more than just pleasantries. It needs laughter, excitement, and maybe even a little shared challenge. A great way to do this is through storytelling. Don't just talk about your job. Tell her the story of the funniest thing that ever happened to you at work. Don't just say you like to travel. Tell her about the time you got lost in a foreign city and the adventure that followed. And most importantly, be fully present. In our distracted world, the gift of your undivided attention is one of the rarest things you can offer. When you are with her, your phone should be out of sight and on silent. Lock in on her. Listen to understand, not just to respond. When a woman feels she has 100% of your focus, it creates a profound sense of connection. That feeling of being truly seen is a peak experience all on its own. Finally, remember the end part of the peak end rule. Always end on a high. As we said before, this might mean ending it a little earlier than you have to, while the energy is still buzzing. The final moments are what she'll take home with her. When you become an architect of memories, you're giving her gifts that last. When you're not around, her mind will drift back to that hilarious moment in the cooking class, or that incredible sunset you watched together. She will miss the experiences, and by extension, she will miss their architect you. If you're getting value from this deep dive into the psychology of attraction, and you're ready to move past the surface level dating advice, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We are all about giving you the tools to build genuinely powerful relationships, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Section 7. The power of secure attachment. Being her emotional safe harbor. This section is a bit more advanced, but it's a game changer. It touches on something called attachment theory. The basic idea is that our earliest relationships shape how we act in our adult romantic partnerships. Understanding this will not only help you make her miss you, but it will help you build a relationship that's actually healthy and strong. Many of the manipulative tactics we talked about are designed to prey on insecure attachment styles, to make an anxious person more anxious, and to give an avoidant person a reason to pull away. It's a recipe for drama, not connection. Our goal is the opposite. Our goal is to create a secure attachment with her, to become her emotional safe harbor. Why is this so powerful? Because when a woman feels genuinely safe, seen, and secure with you, your absence isn't a relief from anxiety. It's the removal of a fundamental source of comfort in her life. She will miss the feeling of security that you provide, which is incredibly rare and valuable. So how do you do it? First, be consistent and reliable. This is the bedrock of all trust. If you say you'll call, call. If you make a plan, stick to it. If you're running late, communicate that early. Inconsistency creates anxiety and makes her wonder where she stands. Consistency builds a deep-seated trust that you're a stable, reliable force in her life. Second, be attuned to her emotional state. This means being able to read the room of her inner world. When she seems a little quiet, don't just ignore it. Gently ask, "You seem a little thoughtful today. Is everything okay?" When she's excited, match her energy and share her joy. When she's upset, don't rush to fix it. First, connect with the feeling. Say, "I can see how much that hurt you. It makes total sense that you feel that way." This shows her that all parts of her are welcome with you. Third, embrace vulnerability at the right pace. Being a safe harbor doesn't mean being an emotionless rock. It means being strong enough to be vulnerable yourself. This isn't about dumping all your baggage on day one. It means as trust is built, you appropriately share your own feelings and dreams. When you share something personal, you're non-verbally saying, "I trust you," which gives her permission to trust you back. This is what turns a casual connection into a deep, intimate bond. When you do this, you're playing a different game entirely. You're not trying to make her feel insecure so she'll chase you. You're making her feel so profoundly secure that the rest of the world feels a little less safe by comparison. She will miss you out of a deep longing for the comfort, trust, and peace that only your presence provides. So let's bring it all home. The desire to be missed is human. It's about knowing we matter. But for too long, the advice on how to get there has been stuck in the shallow, manipulative world of game playing. The path we've outlined today is deeper, more authentic, and infinitely more powerful. It's not about what you do when you're apart. It's about the man you are when you're together. It's about becoming an architect of unforgettable memories, not just a planner of dates. It's about planting emotional hooks, inside jokes, deep understanding, unique compliments that act as mental souvenirs. It's about using psychology not to manipulate, but to create intrigue and anticipation. It's about building a life so full of passion and purpose that your absence leaves a real void. And above all, it's about becoming her emotional safe harbor, a source of comfort so rare she'll crave it when it's gone. This isn't a checklist, it's a mindset. Shift your focus from what can I get from her to what kind of experience can I give her. When you do that, the need to make her miss you just evaporates. It becomes a natural, organic process. You won't have to play games because you will have built a connection so real and unique that she'll miss you for the simple reason that there is no one else in the world like you. And that is the most powerful position to be in. See you in the next video.